Hi everyone, welcome back to Beginners Ukulele with me, Matt Stead. In this video, we're going to learn a new song, Shotgun by George Ezra. We're going to practice that straight strum that we learned in the last video when we were exploring straight time versus swing time. And more importantly, we're going to look at a simple straight 8 strum. And we're going to find out how to make it much more interesting. Adds dynamics. Let's have a look at the chords first. Now you'll notice that these are exactly the same chords that feature in Someone You Love by Lewis Capaldi that we looked at. In fact, they're 4 of the most popular chords ever used in modern popular music, and especially in modern music today. They're in a slightly different order to Someone You Loved. We have C to start with, that's the home chord. Then we want a little bit of a change, so we have an F chord, a touch of melancholy, an A minor, and then the G chord makes you want to go back to the start and do it all again. Now notice when I play this C chord, it's followed by an F chord, and I can prepare for that F chord by getting these 2 fingers ready to go up here. An A minor from an F is dead easy, isn't it? We looked at this before. Just lift off that first finger and we have an A minor. G is the hardest chord to get to all in one go. So I suggest just using your index finger to get that first position there. Second finger underneath on the A string, and then we place our third finger. Let's practice doing that with slow down strums. 1, 2, 3, 4. C. F, index finger off for A minor, and down to G. Keep this right arm moving no matter what, even if you go wrong with the chords, or you have a big gap in between the chords, just keep that right hand moving, keeping the rhythm. Okay, and to G. And then let's go back to the C to finish. Excellent. I'm going to play a few measures from the song, first of all in swing time and then in straight time. And I want you to have a think about which sounds most appropriate. One will sound pretty shoddy, I think. If you're not sure which is which, have a look in the last video on swing time and you'll soon get the idea. Here's swing. I've been riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Whoa. I've been riding shotgun underneath the hot. Here's straight time. I've been riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Whoa. It's got to be straight time, hasn't it? A lot of George Ezra's songs have a real kind of driving feel, and that suits straight time really well. With that kind of loose, relaxed swing time, it just doesn't suit the feel of the song at all. Now this one we're going to strum in straight 8s. Just very consistent, gentle but fast down strums using the nail side of our index finger. Now straight 8s at its most simple means that we strum down on the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, and we also strum down on the ands in between the numbers, or the offbeats. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The reason they're called straight 8s is that each of those strums is an 8th note, but you don't need to stress about that. Just know that you could count to 8 if you wanted to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But it's much easier to count to 4 with the ands. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The reason that works so well for straight time is that we have consistency on every single beat and offbeat. If we were to strum up and down using that time, A, it looks and feels a bit mechanical, but also we've got nails on the way down, and pad on the way up, which isn't consistent. So we want that nice, very light down strums using just the tips of your nails. Even if you've got short nails, just lightly brushing them against the strings, roughly where the body meets the neck of the ukulele, coming down straight towards the floor, not off towards the same angle as the frets, keeping it nice and light. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The brilliant thing about learning this song is that the chords and the timing are completely consistent throughout the whole piece. The entire song, the chords are played for 1 measure each. Remember, if we're counting in measures, that means 1 count to 4 on each chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and F and 2 and 3 and 4, A minor and G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Whew, I'm out of breath. So let's try 1 first, bridge and chorus. Just keep those chords going. C, F, A minor and G. 4 beats on each. Come in after 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. C and F, A minor and G. Just keep that going. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Keep that going. That's brilliant. Homegrown alligator, see you later. Gotta hit the roads, gotta hit the road. The sun and changing atmosphere, architecture unfamiliar. I could get used to this. Time flies by in a yellow and green. Stick around and you'll see what I mean. There's a mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you'll know where I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Whoa, I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Whoa. Brilliant. Well done, everyone. Do you see what I mean about that driving rhythm? Even though it's quite a happy, upbeat sounding song, that driving rhythm really gives this song a sense of purpose. Just before we look at making that strumming more intense, let's just remember a couple of those tips I gave you. C to the F, have these fingers ready and prepared to move up and down. F to A minor, just take off that 1 finger. G, we have 1, 2, 3, a triangle pointing in this direction. Now remember, when we go from a G to a C, we can keep this 2nd finger down, pivot onto it and place our 3rd finger next to it. And you don't even have to take this one away because it doesn't make any difference to the strum. So C, F, finger off, 1, 2, 3, and pivot back to C. So because the chords stay the same all the way through the song, we need to add a little bit of dynamic, a little bit of intensity to certain parts of the song. And there's a really simple way to alter those down strums to do that. Now, do you remember a few videos ago I was saying that we don't need complex strum patterns? It all comes down to 2 things: walking, which is just a simple down strum, and running, which is where your hands moves at exactly the same way, exactly the same pace, but we also touch on the way up. So we have walk, 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 or running, 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 running. Okay. Now, if we can play that slowly, running, 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 walk, 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 running, 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 then exactly the same principle applies when we speed up. Walk, 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 running, 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 running. Whew. And you might think, what? That's ridiculous. That's crazy fast. I can't ever strum that fast. It's too difficult. But just think, if your hand is already moving for the downs, it doesn't need to do anything different to add those ups. It just needs to touch on the way up. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Don't stress whether you're on an up or a down. Just count in your head. Walk, 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 running, 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 walk, 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 running, 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 running. Now this is a good point in proceedings to share a really neat tip. The faster you strum on the ukulele, the lighter you press the strings. A lot of people think contrary to that and think completely opposite. When they start strumming fast, they start digging in and it sounds buzzy and aggressive and whatnot. But actually, the slower I strum, the harder I press, and the faster I strum, the lighter I press, because the speed and the thickness of that strum adds an intensity all of its own. We don't need to bang the strings too hard, otherwise we get buzzes and squeaks and it doesn't sound so great. So remember, the faster you strum, keep it light. So all we need to do to switch on the intensity is turn the walks into runnings. Walk, 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 running, 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 running. Just touching on the way up. Now, where you put that in is entirely up to you, and I don't want to be too prescriptive about it because, as I've said before, I'm not a big fan of saying you have to strum up here or down here. What I'll quite often do is a few down strums and then a few runnings. So I might go. Now, something really important here, everyone learns at their own pace. So if you find this a bit confusing or a bit too difficult to add that intensity at the moment, just practicing your down strums and changing the chords is absolutely brilliant practice. And you're also practicing playing in straight time, which is brilliant too. So don't sweat this. This can come later if you're not sure. Don't panic. It's absolutely cool. Okay. On the choruses where I really want to thicken up the strum, sometimes I'll even only play one walk and then all the rest is running. Walk, running, 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 walk, running, 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 running. So then when I come to the verses, it brings it back down again. And of course, as well as adding intensity, we can take away intensity as well. Miles Davis once said that what you don't play is as important as what you do play. And another way to add drama is to stop strumming altogether. We're going to keep it dead simple. We're not going to do any chuck strums or anything like that. That will come later in another video. We're just literally, when we get to the end of the second chorus, we have what's called a middle eight. You don't need to worry about that. The chords stay exactly the same. But after the second chorus, when we get to the chords, I just want you to strum down once on each. We've got two in the front and two in the back, sailing along and we don't look back. Now remember what I said earlier, the slower you strum, the harder you strum, and the faster you strum, the lighter you strum. So even though we're going slow, give it a decent push down to really let the chords ring out. Another thing I like to do is to give myself an internal metronome. So in between each of the chords, I still do a pretend down strum. I'll show you what I mean. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It will keep you in perfect time. Let's have a practice after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 in the front, 2 in the back, sailing along and we don't look back. One more time. 2, 3, 4. 2 in the front, two in the back, sailing along, and we don't look back. Fantastic. And then after that, we'll have one final chorus where we'll build the intensity as normal. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Whoa. Remember, you don't have to match my strumming pattern. Just keep strumming down. And wherever you feel confident enough, add some up strums, okay? Here's a structure for you, which will also be in the companion PDF underneath the description. We have verse, bridge, chorus, all the same chords, all with those down strums, adding a bit more intensity in the choruses if you'd like to. Then we have the middle 8, which is where we're just strumming down once on each chord. Then we have a little instrumental, which is the same thing, but this time we'll strum a continuous down strum. Then we have another bridge, just down strums this time. And then we have a final chorus to see us out, where you can add as much intensity as you like. Remember, the chords and the structure is the same all the way through the song. C, F, A minor, G, 4 of each, round and round, so you can experiment to your heart's content. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... See you later, gotta hit the road, gotta hit the road. Sudden change in atmosphere, architecture unfamiliar, I could get used to this. Time flies by in a yellow and green, stick around and you'll see what I mean. There's a mountain top that I'm dreaming. Gotta hit the road, gotta hit the road. Deep sea diving round the clock, bikini bottoms, lager tops, I could get used to this. Time flies by in a yellow and green, stick around and you'll see what I mean. There's a mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Whoa. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Whoa. Now we climb. We got 2 in the front and 2 in the back. We're sailing along and we don't look back. We get quiet again. Time flies by in the yellow and green. Stick around and you'll see what I mean. There's a mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you'll know where I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Whoa. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Whoa. Let's do another. I'll be riding shotgun Well done, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that. Apologies for my singing. You can probably tell I'm not George Ezra. My voice doesn't go as low as his. And remember, as long as you're playing in time with me, you don't have to match what I do perfectly. You don't have to do up and down strums when I do the intense bits. Just do them where you feel like it. And if you struggle with those, just strum down and you'll be absolutely fine, still getting loads of brilliant practice in. A nice thing to practice, as I mentioned earlier, is on the quiet bits where we're just strumming once, add that rolled strum. Practice things that we've learnt in the other videos and use them to perfect your techniques. In the next video, we're going to look at a song which uses swing time so you can compare and contrast. It will have a very, very different feel.